Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Roll for the Galaxy. In Roll for the Galaxy, everyone is working towards building up their own galaxy or their own area of the galaxy, and it's really, you're racing the other players. Of course, there's very little interaction that you're going to have. This is the dice version of Race for the Galaxy. I did a Gamesplainer of this a few months back, so if you want to go back and have a look at that, that might be worthwhile. I've found that this particular version, the dice version, is much easier to understand and far faster playing than Race for the Galaxy. My preference is Roll for the Galaxy, and I've found that a majority of people who have played both tend to land on the side of Roll for the Galaxy. So it's well worth having a look at. The issues with Race for the Galaxy that Roll for the Galaxy manages to fix are mostly the iconography issues that came around with it, and it's been well documented that people get frustrated with the iconography in Race for the Galaxy. There are icons in this game, but they're not so immense that it's really hard to understand. In fact, it's just the icons for each of the 5 phases. There are 5 phases in each turn. I'll go into that in a little bit, but the iconography for each of those 5 phases is pretty much the only things you need to remember, other than a couple of little pictures, but those pictures are really, really straightforward. Other than that, there is writing to explain what they intend for the benefits of each card that goes down, or each planet or development that gets built. The game plays from 2 to 5 players. It should play fairly quickly. Now, spoiler alert, I did try, and this is something I'm still toying with, I did try doing a live Gamesplaying with this particular game, but after 40 minutes the video cut out and there wasn't really anything usable on it. That's not because of the players I had with me, but I found that there's a barrier in the understanding on this particular game, in understanding how everything kind of works in this, and there's a whole bunch of really intricate little details that if you don't quite get them, it's really hard. But once you understand, once you've kind of seen how it goes, I understand this, I know what I'm doing. The way the game works is everyone simultaneously will select a phase from the dice that they've rolled, and the phase that they've selected gets played by everyone at the table. So understanding that is the first big hurdle for people to get through. So you're basically rolling some dice, and the dice that land will kind of indicate to you what you're going to be able to do. You have the ability to shift some of those dice around, so you're not entirely up to the whims of fate on that. You do have a lot of choice within those rolls, but the rolls will kind of push you in one direction or another. But then from that roll, you're taking one of the dice and using that one to select one of these 5 phases that you want to happen this turn. The die that you use to select the particular phase is one of the dice in that phase. These little details, they're the bits that seem to be missed or misunderstood. You can only select one phase, even though you're going to get to play up to 5 of the phases. If you're playing with 5 people, you can only actually select one phase. Little details like that. I'll go into what all the phases and all this type of stuff looks like in the part 1 of the video. Part 2 is a playthrough with me playing like 3 people playing at the same time, but it's split into turns just because I am only one person. I'm sure you're all smart enough to get your heads around that majority of this stuff happens simultaneously, and when it's going simultaneously, it's going to run through relatively quickly in comparison to games where you're waiting for other people to take their turns. 2 of the phases have 2 choices on them. So making sure that everyone understands the 2 choices when that comes up. You can either take, on the explore phase, you can either take money or present new planets for you to build on, and in the ship phase you can either take money or points. That's your 2 choices on each end of the phase scheme and phase selection. I really like the idea of having choice within the phase selection as well. It really does help you kind of manipulate your board the way you wish and the way you want it to. And look, when this game lands, when you manage to work out the engine on this game, man, is it sweet. I got to the point on one game, and another player at the table also got to the same point, where we had a couple of planets that really fed off each other. So one enabled me to manipulate one of the particular coloured dice, and I could manipulate that onto another planet, and then I had another thing that enabled me just to ship that for free. So I was getting free points on pretty much every turn by just selecting these couple of maneuvers, and he was doing the same. I don't remember the exact details of it, so don't quote me on the exact dice and which exact planets to use on that, but there's a lot of combinations like that that will build up this engine over time. The first few turns you're going to feel trapped because you use your guys. You've then got to pay for more guys to get into your cup for you to roll. That's the dice, sorry. Whenever you buy new dice into your cup, it costs you, and when you run out of money, it has the good thing of you've always had at least one space buck to be able to spend to get one die into your cup each turn. But you get to that point after about 2 or 3 turns where you only have 1 or 2 dice that you're able to roll, which really limits you in what you can do. And so finding the way out of that vicious cycle is probably one of the first hard things to get through. Once you break through that, then it's building up. And look, the game goes until someone has built 12 planets or until the points bowl runs out. That's where the end of the game is. Once that happens, obviously you finish the phase, and then we tally up all the points. Every planet, every development is worth points, plus you've got your little point chips, which will enable you to, which you all add on, and it all adds together. And so while it may look like one person's winning, if you're just looking at the chits that come through for the points, they may have a heap of them, but they may only have really low scoring planets, whereas someone else may have some really high scoring planets. There are even some planets that score extra points depending on what else is in your tableau or what dice you have available to you or at various places around your board. So there's so many different ways to come from behind and actually win this game without anyone realizing that that's what you're going to do. But it's really a brain burner. The better you know this game, the more your brain burns on it. As you're playing your first game, it's literally about, I'm rolling my dice. What can I do with these dice? Oh, great, I can build a planet. Awesome, you put the planet out and you've now got a planet and probably some more dice. That's kind of the brainness of the first couple of games. But once you understand what's coming up and what you're going to come up against, you'll start really getting into the nitty-gritty of what you can do and how to actually create these little engines to manufacture more points and more money as you go through. Look, I think that's about enough from me about Roll for the Galaxy. I hope that these videos help you get the game to the table. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. Subscribe to my videos so you can be up to date with my games that I'm gamesplaining. If you have any games that you wish to be gamesplained, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to see what games I've been playing. And until next time, enjoy gaming.